What's up, guys? The other day I made this video and a lot of you hated it. So in this video, I'm going to tell you everything you need to know about the 2S38's strengths, weaknesses, and its preferred playstyle. Stick around at the end of the video because at the end, I'm going to tell you whether or not I think this vehicle is worth your hard-earned money. So let's jump right into it. Right off the bat, we are faced with this very interesting looking vehicle. It's a light vehicle at 9.7 with a very big hull and a small turret mounted right in the center. Looks like we've got some composite armor over on the sides as well. Those will probably protect us against chemical rounds more than kinetic rounds. But if we go over here to X-ray mode, we can see that it has a crew of 3, and they are seated in a nice little row in front of the vehicle. We've got a 57mm automatic cannon with a 20-round first stage ammo rack. So make your shots count because the auto-loading system is actually a gentleman named Ivan, and he can only work so fast. That's a quick overview of the 2S38. Let's take it into an actual match now and see how it performs. One of the worst features of this tank is that it only has 5 degrees of gun depression. Russia must be a completely flat country because I don't think a single vehicle of Russian origin has more than 6 degrees of gun depression. If there is, be sure to let me know in the comments. This lack of gun depression makes this vehicle incredibly challenging to play in the hills or any other type of terrain that's not a city or fields of Poland. Now, despite only having 5 degrees of gun depression, this vehicle is equipped with a very powerful 57mm autocannon firing APFS DS with 225mm of penetration at 10 meters. That's pretty good. But the issue that I ran into the most is that while I can pen most things, the round doesn't have enough spalling or fragmentation to take out an enemy vehicle with one shot. It can happen, and it does happen more often than not, but what I most commonly find myself doing is trying to hit each crew member individually in order to knock out a tank. Unless I have the sight of an enemy tank, I'll usually go for the gun breech or cannon barrel first. Next, I'll go for the engine or track to immobilize the enemy vehicle. After it can't fight back or run away, the next course of action is to get on their side and take out the crew members or hit the ammo rack. There is one major weakness with this vehicle that's worse than 5 degrees of gun depression, and that is 50 caliber machine guns. I have lost count of the number of times I have immobilized an enemy vehicle and pushed to flank only to be destroyed by a wave of heavy machine gun fire. So, if you manage to take out an enemy's main gun, do your best to focus on the 50 caliber machine gun next if you want any chance of surviving and winning the fight. Moving away from weaknesses, we can start focusing on one of the major strengths, and that is the ability to fight hull down, because there is no crew in the turret. This makes for some great plays even with having no armor. If you do take damage to your turret, all you have to do is reverse, prepare for 30 seconds, and boom, you're back in the fight. Another advantage to having all the crew in front of the tank is how much it increases survivability. There is a large possibility that while you're flanking at full speed, take a round to the side, and it goes in one side and right out the other. This is due to the fact that a large portion of the hull is packed like a bag of Lay's potato chips. 30% crew, 70% air. Please note that getting hit with Heat FS will likely have a very different result, and we're not going to be covering that in this video. Another major strength that the 2S38 has in its arsenal is the ability to lock onto and track enemy aircraft. Sounds broken, but wait until you hear this. It also has a secondary round you can swap to specifically designed for aircraft. Yep, that's right. It also gets an HEVT round, a programmable round that communicates with the laser rangefinder and automatically sets the distance from the tank to the aircraft. This includes helicopters, planes, and even attack and scout drones, or really anything in the sky. Now, let's rate the 2S38 on a scale of 1 to 10, starting with firepower. The 57mm cannon has enough power to stop almost any tank in the game. The only vehicle that I find really challenging to beat were the ZTZs. But with 225mm of pen, all you need to focus on is main cannons and 50 caliber machine guns. After that, it's an easy cleanup. Not to mention the ability to easily transform into an SPAA makes this vehicle's firepower even more lethal. For those reasons, firepower gets a solid 9 from me. Next, we're going to move on to mobility. It's not the fastest vehicle in the game, it's not even faster than most MBTs, but combined with its awesome firepower, all you have to be concerned about is immobilizing enemy vehicles and then flanking to eliminate them. In my humble opinion, the mobility score isn't worth anything higher than a 6. Moving over to survivability, you really can stay alive for a long time if you do one of two things. Either use your mobility to the best of your ability and get a wide flank on the enemy, or get into a hold down position and use your crewless turret to put some shots down range. I think survivability is pretty well balanced in this tank at a solid 7. Enough for you to tank a few shots, but not enough for you to be unkillable. Overall, the 2S38 scores a 7.3. Its biggest strength is going to come from its 57mm gun. This tank is incredibly powerful, and in the right hands can be an absolute silver lion making machine. You could even use it to farm out your Russian tech tree, which you should. Be warned though, this vehicle does have a slight learning curve, and you should always bring backups if this is your first high tier premium vehicle. So, do I recommend this vehicle? Well, the answer is yes. Even more so if it goes on sale. If you found value in this video, please remember to subscribe and leave a like and a comment of what I should review next. See you in the next one.